The Orestis Academy of Arcane Sciences was more than a beacon of intellect and diversity, it was a microcosm of the vast universe. Built on an artificial asteroid orbiting a luminous white-blue star, the Academy represented the pinnacle of engineering and artistry. Its structures, shaped like spheres and crystalline towers, shimmered under the cosmic light, creating an otherworldly yet vibrant atmosphere. Every corner held the secrets of knowledge, and every corridor served as a forum for brilliant minds to discuss the galaxy's future. Liam Arkin, the Academy's sole human student, crossed the crystalline gates on his first morning with a mix of nervousness and anticipation. Unlike the confident students gliding past him, he felt adrift in a sea of strangers, or rather, a sea of alien beings. His classmates came from diverse species, ranging from radiant, wave-like entities that glowed with electromagnetic hues to forms resembling liquid metal, reflecting light with every movement. Their unique shapes and intellects made Liam acutely aware of his own ordinariness. For Liam, integration was not just a personal challenge but a mission. As the first representative of humanity in this interstellar academic setting, he was profoundly aware that every action and word he spoke would shape how humans were perceived by others. He carried a quiet but fierce desire to prove that even without extraordinary powers or innate abilities, humanity could contribute to a broader community through resilience and collective ingenuity. Liam's first day in the interplanetary biology class highlighted the challenges he faced. The lecture hall, an immense dome with levitating seats, was unlike anything he had imagined. Professor McCroth, a glowing entity whose form emitted a soft, pulsing light, entered and began a lecture on the adaptive mechanisms of species in extraterrestrial environments. McCroth's voice, resonating like flowing water, was captivating but difficult for Liam to fully grasp. Moreover, the scientific concepts discussed were far beyond anything he had studied on Earth. Meanwhile, his classmates excelled effortlessly. A student from the Calvix species, known for brains capable of processing hundreds of information streams simultaneously, quickly answered questions Liam could barely comprehend. Another student from the Vortex planet presented a detailed analysis within minutes, leaving the entire class in awe. In those moments, Liam felt like a faint flicker of light amidst a dazzling starry sky. Yet he refused to give up. After classes, Liam would retreat to the central library, an awe-inspiring space with levitating shelves and trillions of data points stored in optical crystals. There, he immersed himself in study, striving to grasp the concepts from his lectures. He spent hours asking Professor McCroth additional questions about the material, earning puzzled yet intrigued looks from the enigmatic instructor. Not all encounters were daunting. His initial, clumsy interactions with classmates gradually turned into opportunities for discovery. Once, while explaining the concept of evolution on Earth, Liam inadvertently sparked a lively debate about the differences between natural and artificial evolution. These discussions helped him realize that, despite their disparate origins, all students shared a common thread, an insatiable hunger for learning and an eagerness to exchange ideas. Life at the Academy was not solely about academics, it was also a journey of self-discovery. Liam began to see that the limitations he once perceived as weaknesses, his physical constraints and slower cognitive processing, were opportunities to find alternative approaches to problem solving. Confronting challenges head-on, he learned to leverage his analytical skills and creative thinking to compensate for his shortcomings. The first chapter of Liam's journey at Orestis Academy was a vibrant tapestry of fear and hope woven together. He knew the road ahead would be long and arduous, but each small step he took carried great significance. From an outsider adrift in the galaxy, Liam began to carve out a place for himself not just within the Academy, but within a broader community where he could demonstrate that humanity, too, could shine in its own unique way. The genetics analysis lab was a spherical structure illuminated by a gentle glow emanating from natural luminescent crystals embedded in its ceiling. Inside, advanced machinery hummed softly, and screens displayed complex sequences of numbers and intricate visuals. It was a class Liam approached with both excitement and apprehension. As a human, the thought of providing a biological sample in a classroom filled with beings of diverse forms and biologies made him uneasy. Comparing himself to others was inevitable. Professor Rear, a tall figure with shimmering, silver-like skin that seemed to ripple with his movements, entered the room with an aura of authority. "Today," he began, his deep voice resonating like a tolling bell, "we will conduct individual genetic analyses. This is not only an opportunity to better understand yourselves but also to compare genetic traits across species." The students began collecting their samples, each in their own unique way. A student from the Gellian species secreted a few drops of glowing liquid onto the analysis table. Another, from the Vithas species, carefully shed a small fragment of its bark-like skin. Nervous but determined, Liam stepped forward and placed his hand into the sampling device. A micro-thin needle extracted a blood sample so quickly that he barely felt it. The analysis machines worked rapidly, with results appearing on the screens in colorful streams of data and three-dimensional graphics. However, when it was Liam's turn, the screen abruptly froze, and an error message in red text appeared: "Unrecognizable. Data does not match any known database." The room grew silent, and murmurs quickly followed. The students turned to look at Liam with curious and skeptical expressions. Professor Rear, initially puzzled, moved closer to inspect the screen. "Fascinating," he murmured, his silvery eyes brightening. "There is something unusual about your genetic data, Liam." The entire class leaned in attentively as Rear continued his analysis. On the screen, Liam's genetic sequence appeared with unusual bright markers on several key segments. "This," the professor explained, projecting a standard human genome for comparison, "is the basic structure of a human genome. However, your sequence contains anomalies, segments of code that do not match any known species, including humanity." A student from the Calvix species, renowned for their intellectual prowess, spoke up. "Those segments resemble the genetic patterns of the Orvas." The room erupted into whispers. The name Orvas sent a chill through several students. Mentioned only in ancient texts, the Orvas were a legendary species believed to have existed thousands of years ago. Renowned for their unparalleled adaptability to extreme environments ranging from sub-zero temperatures to the crushing vacuum of space, the Orvas had mysteriously vanished, their extinction shrouded in mystery. Rear nodded slowly. "Indeed. These segments bear significant resemblance to Orvas' genetic markers. However, this does not explain how they have appeared in the genome of a human." Liam stood motionless, a mix of shock and disbelief washing over him. He knew little about the Orvas, but the way they were spoken of in class filled him with unease. "What does this mean, Professor?" he asked, his voice steady despite the storm inside him. Professor Rear gazed at Liam, the complexity of his thoughts reflected in his silver eyes. "It means your blood may carry traces of the Orvas' legacy or at least some connection to them. But to confirm this, we'll need further tests and deeper research. Liam, are you willing to participate?" Liam nodded, though uncertainty churned within him. He couldn't fathom why a fragment of a legendary species' heritage would appear in his body. Yet he knew that from this moment forward, his life at the academy would never be the same. News of the discovery spread quickly across the academy. Students from countless species, some curious, others suspicious, began paying closer attention to Liam. To some, he became an intriguing anomaly to be studied. to others, he was a potential threat or an outsider to be avoided. With each passing day, Liam felt the weight of the revelation pressing on him. He was no longer just the lone human at the Orestis Academy of Arcane Sciences, but was now entangled in a mystery tied to the galaxy's history. Questions swirled in his mind. Why did Orvas genes exist within him? What did it mean for humanity? And could it represent danger or opportunity? Yet, deep within, Liam felt a strange strength awakening. Perhaps this unique bloodline was the key to proving his worth in the galactic community. And perhaps it would unlock even deeper secrets, not just about the Orvas but about the true nature of life across the cosmos. After the shocking revelation during the genetic test, Liam became the center of attention at the Academy. Every eye followed his every move, from the glittering crystal hallways to the vast lecture halls. Yet, the stairs were nothing compared to the weight Professor Rear placed on his shoulders, demanding a series of additional tests. In the lab, Liam sat motionless on a chair as the cold light of advanced machinery illuminated his tense face. Professor Rear stood nearby, carefully reviewing each parameter. The analyzer emitted a steady hum as results began appearing on a three-dimensional display. DNA strands were magnified, detailed to the point where atomic bonds were visible. "There's no denying it," Professor Rear said, breaking the silence. "Your DNA contains distinct genetic markers unique to the Orvas. This is not just unusual, it's unprecedented." Liam sat frozen, his eyes fixed on the screen. He didn't know how to respond. Orvas, a name he had only vaguely heard in history lessons, was now an integral part of his identity. "But how is this even possible?" Liam blurted out. "Humans and the Orvas are separated by millennia of evolution. Weren't they extinct long ago?" Professor Rear looked pensive. "It's true, we believe the Orvas vanished completely. But the presence of their genes in your body raises a significant question. Perhaps a fragment of their legacy has survived within humanity, or," he paused, as if choosing his words carefully, "it's possible that you're not an ordinary human." Rear's words struck Liam like a bolt of lightning. He couldn't stop thinking about what they implied. If he wasn't an ordinary human, then what was he? Liam's questions didn't stop there. News of the discovery quickly reached the Intergalactic Scientific Council, a powerful organization overseeing critical scientific discoveries across the galaxy. The council was more than just a group of researchers, it served as the guardian of stability and order among the planets. They summoned Liam to explain the origins of his genes. Despite feeling immense pressure, Liam knew he had no choice. To uncover the truth about himself, he would have to face the council's scrutiny. The journey to the council's headquarters was far from pleasant. Situated on the planet Nara, the headquarters was renowned for its harsh climate and imposing structures built entirely from rare alloys. Every detail of the place exuded authority and power. When Liam entered the main chamber, he was overwhelmed by its sheer scale. A massive oval-shaped conference table was surrounded by dozens of council members, representing various species from across the galaxy. At the center, a three-dimensional display showcased his DNA sequence, with the Orvas genes highlighted in vivid red. The council's chair, a towering figure with deep blue skin and glowing eyes, spoke in a resonant voice, "Liam Arkin, we have summoned you to address one of the greatest mysteries the Council has ever faced. You carry the legacy of a species thought to be extinct. We need to know, how did this happen?" "Esteemed Council," Liam began, his voice hoarse with tension, "I don't know. I'm just an ordinary person. I have no memories or knowledge related to the Orvas." Another council member, whose form resembled an energy-based entity rather than an organic being, interjected, it's possible that the Orvas bloodline was passed down through generations of humans without anyone realizing it. But your genes are too distinct, too pure to be a faint remnant. They are more intact than we anticipated. Professor Reer, invited as an advisor for the session, nodded in agreement. I believe these genes are not merely a passive inheritance. They may carry capabilities or a message we have yet to understand. So what do we do next? One council member asked, their tone grave. We must trace the origin of these genes, the chair replied. To do so, Liam must embark on a perilous journey. He will not only seek answers about himself but may also uncover a secret buried for millennia. Liam stood in silence, feeling as if everything was spiraling out of control. Yet deep down, he knew this was his chance to discover the truth not just about himself but also about the vast history of the universe. He took a deep breath, his gaze resolute. I'm ready. As Liam left the chamber, he was no longer just a student at the Orestis Academy of Arcane Sciences. He had become the focal point of a monumental quest, a search not only to decode the origins of the Orvas but also to potentially reshape the future of the entire galaxy. However, Liam also understood that the road ahead would be fraught with dangers not only from the secrets waiting to be uncovered but also from forces determined to keep the truth hidden. In the solemn atmosphere of the Intergalactic Scientific Council's hearing, Liam sat at the center, his anxious gaze fixed on the sharp faces surrounding him. The light from the holographic display illuminated the room, highlighting his DNA sequence, a piece of undeniable evidence of the Orvas genes embedded within a human body. The questioning dragged on for hours. The council members, representing the most intelligent species in the galaxy, relentlessly pressed him. How had Orvas genes appeared in a human? Why did these genes activate extraordinary abilities in Liam? And did his existence pose a threat to the balance of the universe? A slender member, with glowing eyes like small lanterns, spoke up. Liam Arkin, recount your experiences related to these extraordinary abilities. We need to understand how the Orvas genes affect you. Liam took a deep breath, trying to steady the tremor in his voice. Once, he began, during an expedition to the planet Frigoris, known for its temperatures so low the atmosphere freezes, our ship was caught in a magnetic storm. Everyone fell into hypothermia, but I was fine. My body seemed to adapt, enduring the harsh cold effortlessly. The room fell silent, save for the faint clicking of recording devices. Another scientist, with translucent skin revealing glowing veins, nodded slowly. This adaptability is no coincidence. It's a clear indication of active Orvas genes. Professor Reer, who had stood by Liam throughout the hearing, added. This ability is more than just a biological trait. It proves that the legacy of the Orvas not only exists but is far more potent than we imagined. After hours of analysis and debate, the chair, a representative of the oldest species in the council, spoke in a deep, resonant voice. Liam, you are not merely a carrier of Orvas genes. Your abilities demonstrate that this legacy is alive and functional within you. This presents both an opportunity and a responsibility. The words left Liam stunned. He had come seeking answers about his origins, only to face a mission far beyond his expectations. We are not keeping you here as a subject of study, the chair continued, but neither can we ignore your significance. With the Orvas genes in your body, you may be the key to unraveling mysteries this galaxy has forgotten for millennia. Another council member, their body shimmering like a field of starlight, cautioned. Remember, this legacy is not merely a gift. It is a burden. If mishandled, it could lead to unimaginable consequences. Liam nodded, feeling the weight of the warning. I understand, he said firmly. I don't know why this happened to me, but if this is a chance to contribute to the galaxy, I won't run from it. The council swiftly reached a decision. Liam was permitted to return to the Orestis Academy of Arcane Sciences to continue his studies, but was also assigned a mission, to research the origins of the Orvas genes and explore their potential applications to improve life across the galaxy. Before Liam left, the chair pulled him aside and spoke privately. You have the potential to become a symbol of the connection between the past and the future. But remember, a symbol only has meaning when paired with the right actions. Returning to the academy, Liam found his life irreversibly changed. His peers now looked at him with admiration mixed with curiosity, but he knew this attention was just the surface. The true pressure came from the expectations placed on him by the council. Professor Rear continued to assist Liam in studying the Orvas genes. Together, they conducted experiments to understand how these genes enabled adaptation to extreme environments, from scorching desert planets to the crushing pressures of ocean depths. The findings not only shed light on the Orvas legacy but also opened possibilities for protecting life across the galaxy. Yet, Liam realized this journey was about more than science. It was about identity, or rather, his essence. How could someone like him carry the legacy of a mythical species? Was he truly human, or merely a historical anomaly, a bridge between two eras? The deeper Liam delved into his research, the clearer it became that the answers did not lie within the laboratory but somewhere out there, deep in the universe. Somewhere, the secrets of the Orvas awaited him, and perhaps, so did the truth about himself. From an ordinary student, Liam had become the focus of the galaxy's hopes and fears. But within him burned a fire of determination. If he carried the legacy of the Orvas, he also bore the responsibility to fulfill their mission. No matter how perilous the road ahead, Liam knew that only the truth could free him from the endless questions about who he truly was. After the hearing with the Intergalactic Scientific Council, Liam returned to the Orestis Academy of Arcane Sciences with a completely different mindset. The days of being an anonymous student were now a thing of the past. He now bore a responsibility not only as an individual but as a symbol of unity among the galaxy's diverse species. Back in the lecture halls, Liam immediately drew attention. Students of various species ranging from beings as small as grains of sand to towering giants watched him with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. He was no longer just the first human at the academy, he was now the embodiment of a profound scientific mystery. Together with Professor Rear, Liam embarked on an extensive research project to uncover the secrets of the Orvas genes, understanding their effects on his body and their broader potential. Rear's laboratory, already renowned for its groundbreaking studies, became the focal point of attention across the galaxy. Experiments began by subjecting Liam to extreme environments. In a chamber simulating the heat of a white dwarf star, his skin appeared to absorb and reflect thermal energy, protecting the internal tissues. In another environment, under pressures hundreds of times greater than Earth's, his cells automatically adapted to prevent collapse. Every time your body reacts, Professor Rear said with excitement, it writes a new chapter in a book we've never seen before. The Orvas genes aren't just a legacy, they're a living tool, constantly learning and evolving. However, not everything went smoothly. During one prolonged experiment, Liam unexpectedly fainted when his body overreacted to a zero-gravity simulation. He was rushed to the Intergalactic Medical Wing, where Rear and other specialists discovered that while the Orvas genes were powerful, they still had limits when pushed too far. Beyond science, Liam began to play a key role in the galaxy's political and social affairs. The Intergalactic Scientific Council recognized that his story, a human carrying the legacy of an extinct species, could serve as a beacon of hope for unity among the galaxy's often conflicted civilizations. Liam was invited to intergalactic conferences, where he shared his perspective on collaboration between species to address crises such as environmental changes, resource depletion, and geopolitical conflicts. At one peace summit between two civilizations locked in a Cold War, Liam's story of adaptation and survival became a symbol of the strength found in cooperation. "We may differ," Liam said to thousands of delegates, "but within each of us lies the ability to change and adapt. The Orvas legacy has taught me that life is not a battle for survival, but a harmony to thrive together." Not everyone, however, supported Liam. Conservative factions across the galaxy viewed him as a threat, arguing that the presence of Orvas genes in a human was an aberration that could lead to unforeseen consequences. Some extremist groups even attempted to abduct him for their own experiments. In one ambush while returning from a conference, Liam had to rely on his adaptive abilities to escape. For the first time, he realized that the power granted by the Orvas genes was not only for exploration but also for self-preservation. Concerned for Liam's safety, Professor Rear suggested he temporarily leave the academy to avoid further danger. But Liam refused. "If I run, I'll be denying everything we've accomplished. I'm not here just to learn, I'm here to show that our differences are not something to hide." One evening, Liam stood on the Academy's observatory, gazing at the star-filled sky. The secrets of the Orvas remained a vast unknown. He knew that his current research was only the beginning. "Perhaps the answers aren't here," he thought. "Maybe we need to go where the Orvas once existed." The idea of embarking on a journey across the galaxy to uncover remnants of the Orvas began to take root in his mind. He shared this vision with Professor Rear, who, though initially hesitant, agreed that this might be the next step toward unraveling the mystery. "Liam," Rear said, "you're not just a scientist, you're an explorer. If the Orvas left anything behind, you're the one who will find it." With support from the Scientific Council and the Academy, Liam began preparations for a special mission, a journey to the farthest reaches of the galaxy in search of Orvas remnants. This mission was not only about uncovering the truth but also about proving that adaptation, determination, and cooperation among species could open a new future for the galaxy. Liam knew the road ahead would not be easy. But with every step, he felt a stronger connection to the Orvas legacy within him, a legacy that not only defined who he was but guided who he was destined to become in the vast expanse of the universe.